Hey everybody and welcome to this new Legion Tower Defense 2 video guide. This time with the promised Sacred Steed Pegasus video. I did need some time to test it, so here it is, and enjoy what I have as information for you. But at first, if you're interested in any more content of myself, I'm streaming on Twitch a few times a week, so check out my Twitch channel. It is linked down in the description. But let's come to the Sacred Steed now. As a stats, we can already see it's a Divine Tier 3 unit. Its cost is 80 gold. It has 760 arcane HP and 34 magic damage. Now this is a wall of text, but I just copy pasted the ability in here so you don't miss anything. So at very first, it restores the mana of nearby allies. For each mana point of its own mana, it will restore 0.5 mana at another unit that is using mana, and this till a maximum of 1.5 mana per target. Since the Sacred Steed and the Pegasus both have 10 mana, there will be plenty of mana left over, so the mana will bounce to the next target and so on till all the mana is gone. If there's no mana unit around, it will self-buff for the full 10 mana costs by 20% of its attack speed for 5 seconds. Now coming to the Pegasus, which is the Divine Tier 3 upgrade. It costs 190 gold as upgrade cost, has then 2500 arcane HP and 112 magic damage. Mana Miracle is its ability, and it's basically the same, besides that from now you don't make 0.5 mana per own mana point, but you now make 1.5 mana. So you basically gain 50% free mana if you upgrade the Pegasus just by casting the spell, which is pretty insane. And the maximum mana per target has increased as well, up to 4.5 mana per target. So overall it is a good idea to upgrade your Sacred Steed as soon as possible to make your casters cast faster. So now it's gonna be once again a wall of numbers and text, but it's just that you see that the stats the Sacred Steed has is actually really bad, and the unit is all about its spell. So you can see here the Sacred Steed, for example, has a DPS of 0.374, whereas normal DPS units like a Seraphim have 0.55, or an Orchid, which has on top of that a spell, has 0.5 DPS per gold. It is important to note that you don't use absolute numbers in comparison here, because of course a more expensive unit has more damage, but since you have to pay more for it and gold is a limited factor in Legion, you always try to count gold damage or DPS or HP per gold in this game. So there's a lot of numbers here, and same as for the HP. So you, for example, gain 9.5 HP per gold as an arcane unit, but out there are way more units that are better. For example, the Veteran with 12.6 HP per gold, or the Badger with its insane 13.67 HP per gold. I have two examples here that show that there are other units that have around their the same DPS or HP per gold, but that's always for a reason. For example, Assyria here is a ranged unit, which makes a difference, and the little bit of spell, which is dealing percentual damage, is not included in this DPS here. Or for Doomsday, you have a spell with splash damage as well, and Doomsday as a half tank or more or less off tank is dealing quite a lot of damage, so that's why here the HP is so low. But keep in mind the stats for Sacred Steed and Pegasus are quite below the average if you want a damage dealer or a tank. So it's all about the spell. But now, what can you all do with the spell? At very first, I want to show you how the self-buff's looking like. As you can see here, there's a little bit of a shining around the unit. It's not too visible, to be honest, but I just wanted to show you how it's looking like. The first and probably most important thing you have to get aware of is, do you want to have one power unit? For example, you see here a Disciple, it will be a Starcaller later. Do you want this Starcaller to be the power unit and give all the mana your Pegasus and Sacred Steeds gain to this one unit to just full cast its spell over and over again? So you're making one power unit and try to make it survive as long as possible to deal the most damage. Or do you want to more buff your whole spawning or your whole mana comp, like we see here with multiple gates? So that's the first thing, and there's not really a tip I can give you since both can be good. I personally tend more into the direction that you want to buff more units but not too many. So like for example, if you have gates, build 3 or 4 gates and then buff them and they will spawn super fast instead of one Starcaller, because units like a Starcaller have a limited mana pool, and if you just have 6 Pegasus around it, they will just overshot the mana on it, and it's not even able to cast all the time. So that's why I tend a little bit more to using multiple units. One very important thing is that the upgrade, the Pegasus, has the perfect value to use it as Vargs and Lioness and Alpha Males. So Lioness and Alpha Males are the upgrades of the Varg unit. If you want to know more about how to use Varg and what's about this aura, you can check out the video about it. I will link it down in the description. But it's good to note that the Pegasus has the perfect value to fit in between Lioness and Alpha Male. Exactly. That's basically the main tips I already gave you. There will be some more in the sum up now. So let's have a look. At first, I want to remind you once again, the stats are very bad compared to other units, but the spell is a very strong spell, especially with high cost spawn units. It's very effective. It has the perfect value to use it with Vargs. You have to ever choose between making a power unit, for example a Starcaller, or do you want to have a power comp with multiple units? They don't have to be all from the same kind, they can be different units, but that's one decision you will have to face in the game. And now I want to name some units where I think it is really strong with. For example, it's probably the best with gates, Soulgate and Hellgate, since a spawnling of those 2 units is super high value and the mana costs are not too high, so you gain a lot with the mana from your Sacred Steeds or Pegasus with a gate. Violet in my eyes is a very good unit as well. It has very low spell costs and is very effective in the early game. So if you manage to have Violets and Sacred Steed in the early game, it might be a good opener and you have the potential to push quite some worker. The same is for the Pilgrim, since you will have a lot of heals coming out with your Desert Pilgrim to survive early game waves longer, and so you can have some little high push there. Of course, Starcaller is a good unit as well, but I mentioned it already in the power units. Personally, I don't like it with Harpies, I don't like it with Boas, and I don't like it with Atoms, because all those 3 units have a very high mana pool, and if you just add 1.5 or 4.5 mana to it, it doesn't really affect the damage of the units. So make sure to choose units with a smaller mana pool. Personally, I think those 3 I named are the best to use it with. Oh, and Starcaller of course. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Follow my channel for more information. And then, good luck in your ranked games and have a good grind.